The United States Space Force is celebrating its 6th birthday tomorrow. It is, of course, the newest military branch and was formed during the first Trump administration. It is responsible for protecting and defending the U.S. both here on Earth and in orbit. Chief Master Sergeant John Bentivegna is here to tell us more. He holds the highest enlisted rank of leadership at the U.S. Space Force. Always good to see you, sir.
Good to see you. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays to you and yours. For our audience to understand, give us a sense of the accomplishments that you've been able to undertake since the Space Force was founded.
Yeah, so, it's been 6 years, and it's been an amazing 6 years. And the analogy that we like to use is think about football. We were a special team under the United States Air Force as a major command prior to 2019. So when we were established, essentially it was a special team, a really good special team, and told you got to become a football franchise. So for the past 6 years, we've been building from a special team to a franchise. How are you going to scout for talent? What's the stadium going to look like? Who's going to sell tickets? What are the marketing relationships that you build? How are you going to pay for it all? So it has been that transformation from a special team to building a franchise, really, which is what a service does within the Department of War. So we've had a lot of strides over the past 6 years getting to that point.
And for you particularly, what has been the most fulfilling thing that you've been able to see and do as the highest enlisted rank?
The amazing young men and women who are coming to join the Space Force.
We were just talking about that.
Yeah. So, our recruiting has been extremely strong. We recruit on the enlisted side about 800 per year, and we have thousands that apply. For the officer side, we were just talking about the Air Force Academy. We get about 10% of the graduating class out of the Air Force Academy, but we have hundreds that apply for about 100 positions. So recruiting is great. But when I get a chance to go out and meet these young men and women when they're in that initial stages of transitioning from a civilian into what we call ourselves guardians, it's just so inspiring to see why they want to join the service and the immense talent they bring to the nation. It's so rewarding to kind of see that culture that we're building.
So, the Space Force is, as we've talked about, it's only about 6 years old, but you've been working on these space projects for many years. So now that you are a franchise, appropriation from Congress and funds that are coming to the Space Force, how has that helped tailor the mission going forward?
Part of that franchise building, as you will, is us figuring out, how as a service, like all the other services, how do we organize forces? How do we train forces? How do we present forces to the combatant commands? Because as services, that's what we all do. So whether the Army, the Air Force, or the Navy, we present forces to the combatant commands. And we've done a lot of great things to be able to formalize what that is and understand that we are part of the joint force. And the advocacy that we've gotten from our brothers and sisters in the other services has really been phenomenal to get us to that point. And I'm really proud of that.
Yeah. Let's talk about national security. How vital is your mission, the mission of Space Force, to our national security, just here on Earth?
Yeah. If you think about what history tells us, every physical domain that humankind has endeavored into, land, sea, air, has resulted in exploration, opportunity, and financial benefit. Right? Space is no different. And our competitors understand that. So the role of the United States Space Force is to make sure that we secure our nation's interests in, from, or to space. Yesterday the President signed an executive order, American space superiority. That's key to that. It's not just militarily, but how do we unleash the space domain so explorers can explore, investors can invest, and we have free and unfettered access to that for the benefit of the nation. And as Guardians, that's what we do.
And this is sort of tongue-in-cheek, but I like one of my closest friends. When I was a young man, I was in the Army, ROTC, joined the Army. He was in the Marine Corps, and he retired as a Marine major. But he used to say, we're the Marine Corps, but we still get the Navy's hand-me-downs, right? And I don't think at this point Space Force is getting any hand-me-downs from the Army from the Air Force, because you are a full service.
That's right.
You're not a department of the Air Force. You are.
That's right. So under the department, just like on the Navy, there's a Department of the Navy, there's the Navy, and there's a Marine Corps. So very similar. We're under the Department of the Air Force. So Secretary Mink is the secretary, and we have both the United States Air Force and the United States Space Force. So we are two services within the same. And it's been great. Our partnership with the Air Force is very strong. You go to our bases, and we call them power projection platforms, whether it be Buckley Space Force Base in Colorado or Vandenberg Space Force Base in California. There's a lot of airmen there because they operate and execute the power projection platforms by which we as Guardians project space power across the world.
Love it. Always good to see you, sir. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope to see you again next year. Yeah, you're not going to retire on us, are you?
No, I don't think so. I love what I'm doing. My wife and Kathy and I love getting a chance to engage with Guardians, and and do good things.
Well, we appreciate you as always. Thank you for your
very much.
service. Thank you, and thanks to your
Again,
wife too. Yeah,
Merry
because,
Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.